Hello and welcome to the channel, guys. Today we are reacting to students challenging Ben Shapiro on transgenderism. Let's see how well he roasts them, because we know Ben will definitely roast them, right? Let's go into it.
Hi, thank you for the talk. I just had a question about a comment you made at the beginning about transitioning from male to female or otherwise.
Yes.
You've talked a lot tonight about how important it is to let people believe what they want to believe and how the government and us have no say telling people what they should think or what they should be able to say. I just wanted to ask, what's the harm, if somebody's going to be a happier person because they say that they're a man or a woman, like what's the harm in just letting them do it?
I'm not in favor of government banning people who are adults. Children I'm in favor of banning because now you're talking about somebody who's not capable of consent. Right? All of our laws are based on the ability of people to consent. If you're a child, you can't consent. So I'm very much in favor of banning gender transition for kids. I think that it's frankly evil. I think you're making decisions for children who are not capable of making decisions for themselves that are permanent and have long-lasting, significant, and severe impact. As far as adults, if you're 25 and you want to get a sex change surgery and you feel like it's going to make you feel better, you have the right to do it. You do. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I mean, the research on this stuff tends to be somewhat conflicting, but if it works for you, it works, right? It's a free country. Now, that's really not the question that's being asked in our society today, because I don't think there are that many people who are like, we want to ban gender surgery for a 30-year-old. I'm not seeing the campaign for that. What I am seeing is a campaign on the left that says that my child is going to be removed from my home 10 years from now if I don't agree with the left's view of how I should treat my child's gender confusion.
Like, sorry for pausing the video here. I disagree with Ben on a few things, but the most powerful one is the war between Gaza and Israel and Hamas, or Israel and Gaza. Yeah, that part. But most of what he says when it comes to when it comes to America, when it comes to Democrats and Republican politics, it's usually on point. But now his religion is kind of. But the thing, what I've heard, back to the point, what I've heard a lot of Americans say, or like what's trending them, like there are literally states where like the state actually funds the transgenderismness or of a child, like of a minor. And in some states as well, if a parent doesn't allow, doesn't support a child from be trans or from changing their agenda, the government has the right to take the child from that parent, which I feel is really unnecessary. And I think they are doing well to support the family values in America, which is going to affect them in the long run. And yeah, I think trying to impose transness to young or people who are not eligible to vote or even drink or even drive, it's really dangerous, because we all agree people who are not eligible to do all these things are not of mental soundness, like they are not of sound mind to be able to make these. But why do we give them such a role to play?
At age 4. I see the left suggesting that they want to fine me if I refuse to say that a man is a woman as a general proposition. Right? If I say that men and women are separate, then the left says this is discrimination. Or the left is going to suggest that it has no impact on my business if I employ a woman at Hooters and she shows up the next day as a man. Right? Like that does have an impact on my business, right? But the left would suggest, well, you should sort of deal with it. Well, it turns out that gender does mean something, and it does have an actual meaning to people outside of you. I'm not going to go along with the general societal willingness to rewrite basic facets of human nature and human biology, and frankly, mammalian biology, in order to suggest that a delusion is true. Now, if the best thing for the person is for the person they can't change what they're thinking, there's no way for them to get out of it, they want to change their body so they feel that it is more in line with what they're thinking, more power to them, that's their problem. And as I've said before, by the way, I've said this 1,000 times and everybody on the left automatically ignores it, of course. I've said that if I were in a room with a transgender person having dinner with that person, I wouldn't go out of my way to call them by their biological sex. Because it's rude, right? I wouldn't do that if I were sitting right across from them. But if you're asking me in a public forum whether a man is a man and a woman is a woman, or asking me to call a man a woman in a public forum, the answer is no.
Yeah, I agree with him. Like, I don't think anyone should force you to call them by any name that they wish. I'm calling you by the name I wish. Like, we are not in high school where you can go and report. But like, I'm calling you by a name. If you don't like it, you can move on. Like, I'm not calling you a name But this issue is just an American or European issue. Like you can't bring this nonsense to Ghana or Africa. Like someone would like we Africans are okay, okay. Yeah, let me just not see this. But yeah, I think I get Ben's point, and I just hope that most Americans get to realize that look, your ideology or your belief should stick with you, or should stay with you, or should remain with you in your head or in your house. But the moment you start moving it onto people, like transferring to people and expecting people to follow you, like that's where a lot of people draw the line, and you should be ready to face backlash like most of these trans people are. So guys, yeah, thanks for watching and catch you in the next one.